All right, folks, welcome back to the Crisis Report Alert for September 6, 2025. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you'd like to change your IRA into gold and silver, this is an excellent company to do so for. They are heralded by the Better Business Bureau and CNBC and other major outlets as one of the top companies for such services. Link in the description if you'd like to check it out. All right, let's get started on your Crisis Report Alert for September 6, 2025. U.S. has ordered the deployment of 10 F-35 fighter jets to a Puerto Rico airfield to conduct operations against drug cartels. Seoul says U.S. immigration detained multiple South Koreans in a factory raid. China is going to impose temporary duties on EU pork over dumping. Teacher was hurt in a stabbing in a college in German city of Essen. Thai Parliament confirms right-wing tycoon Anutin as the Prime Minister. President Trump says it looks like we've lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. Tesla offers unprecedented $1 trillion pay package to Elon Musk. President Trump will do three things today. 10:30, receive intelligence. 2 p.m., sign executive orders. 4 p.m., make an announcement. Sounds like a typical day. WHO chief has lifted the global Mpox emergency. David Lammy has become the Deputy Prime Minister of UK. Yvette Cooper moves to Foreign Secretary, and Shabana Mahmoud is now Home Secretary. Teacher is stabbed in Essen, Germany. Well, there's a manhunt underway now for the perpetrator in the heinous attack. It was an 18-year-old student, a Kosovoan, who had seriously injured the teacher with a knife. He was shot by the police while fleeing and was subsequently arrested. Trump says U.S. has lost India and Russia to the deepest and darkest China, showing that there is some hope that India was going to be possibly doing a deal with us on everything, but seems things are not going the way we want them to go. SEAL Team 6 attempted a covert mission in North Korea in 2019 to plant a device to intercept Kim Jong-un's comms, authorized by Trump. Mission failed when SEALs killed civilians mistaken for security forces. Device wasn't planted. Congress was not notified. Nepal moves to block Facebook, X, YouTube, and other social media. Singapore and India have signed a MOU, or a method of understanding, a memo of understanding. Established Singapore-India Green and Digital Shipping Corridor, the GDSC. Trump says it's time to end the Democrat Epstein hoax and give the Republicans credit for the great, even legendary job that they're doing. U.S. economy has added just 22,000 jobs in August, all part-time, short of expected 80,000 jobs. Native-born workers dropped by 561,000, while foreign-born workers rose by 50,000. German software company SAP is going to invest $20 billion over the next decade to build and expand a sovereign cloud infrastructure in Europe to provide secure Europe-based alternatives for governments, regulated industries, and defense sectors. U.S. military has deployed 10 advanced F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico, target Nicolas Maduro's cartel operations following Venezuela's move to fly 2 armed F-16s over a U.S. warship. Texas has officially banned both the production and sale of lab-grown meat. Trump is continuing to pile up weapons around Venezuela. United States will deploy 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico for operations against drug cartels in the Caribbean. U.S. military has arrested 2 of its servicemen protesting the U.S. backing of Israel's work in Gaza, or G-side, as some people call it. Rise up, America. It is time to take back this country from corrupt politicians, they said. Macron announced that 26 countries have formally committed to deploying forces in Ukraine, whether on land, sea, or in air, part of an international security guarantee. Putin stated that foreign troops in Ukraine will now be legitimate targets for Russia. German Chancellor Merz says Europe is too weak to pressure Putin, protect its interests, and that the needs of the U.S. He also complains that the BRICS are rising. At least 5 C-17s crossing over the pond and headed towards Europe. Deployment towards Northern Europe is getting interesting by the day. First U.S. assets being redeployed from the Middle East. Now batches of U.S. assets from mainland U.S. towards Northern Europe. Something to watch. Over the past 24 hours, the U.S. has been transferring a sizable amount of heavy equipment and support staff to Puerto Rico using C-17s and C-5M Super Galaxies, usually used to transfer ADs such as the THAAD and MIM-104 Patriot batteries. Interesting days ahead, according to ITEHIL. And he said that these are the small indicators that show that the U.S. is planning kinetic strikes and preparing for it. The United States will deploy 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico as a reminder as operations for drug cartels start to ramp up. And here's some of your normie headlines. Market sentiment. Hedge funds remain cautious as September begins. Despite market highs and looming Fed rate cuts, hedge funds stayed on the sidelines in August, reducing leverage and positioning defensively, highlighting concern around market fragility and potential volatility. U.S. job growth has slowed sharply. In August, U.S. added just 22,000 jobs, below expectations. Unemployment ticked up to 4.3%, reigniting expectations for a Federal Reserve interest rate cut. Markets have reacted. Stocks and bonds have rallied on the rate cut hopes. Cooling labor market and dovish Fed signals lifted global equities and pushed down bond yields, with markets pricing in nearly a 100% chance of a rate cut this month. And Wall Street has hit record highs, easing on growth concerns. Markets briefly surged on the soft jobs data before easing as fears of economic slowdown tempered rate cut optimism. Broadcom soared, Lululemon sank. Friends, that is your crisis report alert for September 6, 2025. We appreciate you being here. We are brought to you by Augusta Precious Metals. If you could hit that like button, that would be wonderful. And if you could join us on Truth, Gab, Minds, X, Twitter, subscribe to our locals, and of course Substack, where there is a full transcript of this. So join us, and you can become a member too. That's just a couple bucks a month. That really helps the channel as well. We're just glad you're here. God bless. We will see you on the next one.